drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello students, my name is Niyati Said and thanks for watching Wikipedia word videos. My topic for the presentation is third section of the chapter Mineral Nutrition. In this section of the video, we will discuss about the essential nutrients category, role of macro and micronutrients, and macronutrient in detail, students. Okay. So based on the function, essential elements are of four categories. First, component of biomolecule and structural element of cell. For example, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, students. Okay. So these four are the essential elements which are involved in the synthesis of biomolecule, or you can say that they are the components of the biomolecules and they help in the structural support of the cell. Okay, so examples are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Second is component of energy related chemical compounds. For example, magnesium in chlorophyll and phosphorus in ATP. These are the two examples which are the components of the energy related chemical compounds, students. Okay. Now third category is that activate or inhibit enzymes. Okay, for example, Mg2 plus, that is magnesium ion, is an activator for rubisco. Rubisco is a protein. Okay, so this Mg2 plus is the activator for rubisco, and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase, which is enzyme. Okay, so Mg2 plus acts as a activator for these two, rubisco and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. So they are critical enzymes in the photosynthetic carbon fixation. These two are the critical enzymes. Okay, rubisco is an enzyme and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase is also an enzyme. Okay, so these two are the enzymes which are helpful in the carbon fixation. And who activates these two enzymes? Mg2 plus. Okay, so third is the zinc ion, which is an activator of another enzyme which is alcohol dehydrogenase, and molybdenum, that is MO, it acts as an activator for nitrogenase enzyme during nitrogen metabolism, students. Okay, and the fourth category is that they can alter essential elements, they can alter the osmotic potential of a cell. It is seen that potassium, it acts as a or you can say that it plays an important role in the opening and closing of stomata. Okay, see, potassium, they help in opening and closing of stomata. So there are the four categories of essential elements based on the function. First, when it acts as a structural element, then this is the first category, and examples are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, students. And the second category is energy related chemical compounds. For example, magnesium in chlorophyll and phosphorus in ATP. Okay, and third is the element that activate or inhibit enzyme. For example, magnesium ion is an activator for rubisco and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. These are the two critical enzymes which are used in photosynthetic carbon fixation, students. Okay, and another example is zinc ion, which acts as a activator for alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, and molybdenum, it acts as a activator for nitrogenase enzyme, which is used in during nitrogen metabolism. Okay, and fourth category is element that alter the osmotic potential of a cell. Okay, for example, potassium. So students, now we will discuss about the role of the macro and the micronutrients. Okay, as I told you that essential elements, they perform several functions, right? So they participate in various metabolic processes in the plant cell, such as permeability of cell membrane, maintenance of osmotic concentration of cell sap, and electron transport system, buffering action. So there are ample number of metabolic processes where these macro and micronutrients, they participate. Okay, so essential elements, they have role in metabolic process such as permeability of cell, okay, such as potassium. It helps in maintaining the osmotic potential, okay, or you can say that potassium, it plays an important role in opening and closing of stomata. So permeability of cell is maintained by essential elements, that is macro and the micronutrient. Second is maintenance of osmotic concentration of cell sap, okay, and third is electron transport system, and fourth is buffering action, fifth is enzymatic activity and constituent of macromolecule and coenzyme. So these 6 are the metabolic processes which are governed by essential elements, which are macro and micronutrients, students. Okay, so this was the role of macro and micronutrients. Now come to the macronutrients, we will study in detail. Students, there are almost 7 nutrients are there which are macronutrients, okay, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur and iron. Okay, so first we will discuss about nitrogen, students. See, nitrogen is absorbed in the form of ammonium ion or nitrate ion, that is NO3 minus and NH4 plus. Okay, so they are absorbed in the form of ammonium ion or nitrate ion. Nitrogen is the most critical nutrient for the optimum farm production, students. Since it is readily leached from the soil, its level in soil is typically low. However, the level required for optimum crop growth are quite high, and thus generous application of nitrogen is typically required. Okay, so this is required by plant in greatest amount, as I told you. Okay, and it is absorbed mainly as nitrate ion. Some are also taken up as NO2 minus or ammonium ion, students. Okay, now what's the function, students? It is essential for plant parts, mainly meristematic tissue and metabolically active cell. Okay, and it is the major constituent of amino acid, protein, nucleic acid, chlorophyll, vitamins and hormones. Okay, so these are the functions of the nitrogen, that they are essential for plant parts, mainly meristematic tissue, where the cells are where cells keep dividing, that is your meristematic tissue. So nitrogen is essential for all plant parts, but mainly meristematic tissue requires most of the nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is the major constituent of amino acid, protein, nucleic acid, chlorophyll, vitamin and hormone, students. Okay, now come to the nitrogen. As I told you that it is necessary part of all living cells, including protein, enzyme and metabolic processes. Okay, nitrogen is also a part of chlorophyll, which aids in plant growth and increases production of seed and fruit. Okay, it also improves the quality of leaf and forage crops. Okay, nitrogen reduces all aspects of crop and pasture production. Please note that. For example, growth, yield and quality. Okay, now come to the nitrogen deficiency. So what are the symptoms of deficiency? Plants which may have nitrogen for only limited growth may exhibit chlorosis, especially in the older leaves. In severe cases, the leaves first yellow and then they tan and they finally die. Okay, so first they get converted into yellow, then to the tan, as you can see, and then it finally dies. Okay, so this is how deficiency of nitrogen is. Okay, uh, but in severe cases, the leaves they first yellow and then they get converted into tan color and they finally die. Some plants such as tomato, maize, they may exhibit a purplish coloration of the stem, petiole and on underside of the leaf. Okay, but it is seen in tomatoes and maize. Okay, so a general chlorosis is seen. Chlorosis means yellowing of leaf. Okay, especially in the older leaves, not in the young leaves, students. And why it is? Because of the loss of the chlorophyll content appears first. Okay, now the yellowing symptom, that is your chlorosis, it appears last in the younger leaf, because it appears first in the older leaf and it appears last in the younger leaf, because they receive soluble form of nitrogen transported from older leaf, students. Okay, that's the reason why yellowing symptom appears last in the younger leaf and appears first in the older leaf. Okay, because they receive soluble form of nitrogen transported from older leaf. Okay, in some cases, production and accumulation of anthocyanin pigment is found. See, students, whenever anthocyanin pigment accumulates in the vacuole of a cell, then purplish coloration is seen. Okay, this way you can memorize it. So, in some cases, not in all, in some cases, production and accumulation of anthocyanin pigment is found. As a result, a purplish coloration appears in the stem, petiole and lower leaf surfaces. Okay. And fourth deficiency symptom is when the starch content is increased with decrease in protein content. Okay, so these are the deficiency symptoms of nitrogen in plant leaf. Okay, now comes another macronutrient. Which is that? It is phosphorus, students. Phosphorus is absorbed by the plant from soil in the form of phosphate ion, that is your H2PO4 minus or HPO4 2 minus. Okay, so it is absorbed from the plant, from the soil in the form of phosphorus ion, that is H2PO4 minus or HPO4 2 minus. Now tell me, students, where phosphorus is found in plant body? As we all know that phosphorus is a constituent of cell membrane, okay, and certain proteins and all nucleic acids and nucleotides. Okay, and it is required for all phosphorylation reactions. Okay, so this is the plant with sufficient phosphorus and this is the plant with the deficiency of phosphorus. Okay, symptoms of deficiency, you can say that plants they exhibit stunted growth. See, this is a stunted growth as compared to this. Okay, and leaves they are often dark colored, dark green in color, and oldest leaves they become dark brown as they die and maturity may be delayed. Okay, that's why it is stunted. Okay, so phosphorus, what's the significance of phosphorus? As I told you that phosphorus is an essential element for cell division, students, and growth. It is required for photosynthesis, sugar, starch production, energy transfer and movement of carbohydrate within plants and reproduction. Okay, so it helps or it plays an important part in the process of photosynthesis. It is also involved in the formation of oil, starch, sugar, etc. And third, it helps in the transformation of solar energy into chemical energy. Fourth, that it affects growth. It encourages flower blooming and growth of root. Okay. And last is, it is often obtained from fertilizer and bone meal. Okay. Now come to the deficiency symptoms of the phosphorus, students. Phosphorus deficient plants, they may develop dead necrotic areas on the leaf. Okay. Petiole or fruits. The plants with the deficiency of phosphorus result in overall stunted appearance. Okay, as I have shown you in my previous diagram. Okay, and they often exhibit dark green coloration. And the third deficiency may cause leaf fall and purple or red anthocyanin pigmentation. As you can see that this is the purple pigmentation which is occurring due to the anthocyanin pigment accumulation in the vacuole of a cell. Okay. Now come to the another deficiency symptom. The older leaves, they are usually affected first and they become dark brown because of the mobility of phosphorus to the young leaves under deficiency symptoms. That's why older leaves, they get affected first because of the mobility of the phosphorus to the young leaves under deficiency symptoms. That means whenever deficiency of phosphorus occurs, your phosphorus becomes mobile and it moves to the younger leaves first. So younger leaves are intact or they are safe, but what about the older leaves? The older leaves, they get affected. Okay, so that's the reason older leaves, they are affected first. Okay, and they become dark brown. And another deficiency symptom is sometimes distortion in the shape of leaf is absorbed. Okay, and may be confused with zinc deficiency. Large amount of pith and a small amount of vascular tissue are found in the stem of phosphorus deficient tomato plants. Now potassium. Okay, come to the potassium, which is another most important macronutrient. Students, it is absorbed by the plant from soil in the form of K+. Okay, and it is highly required in meristem, bud, leaf and root tip. Now what are the functions? It maintains an anion cation balance in cell, students. Okay, and it is involved in protein synthesis, opening and closing of stomata, activation of enzyme, and in maintenance of turgidity of cells. So these are the functions which are involved because of the potassium. Okay. Potassium is also involved in photosynthesis, respiration, protein formation, and it is essential for cell division. It is also essential for cell electrolyte balance and for the functioning of plant stomata. Okay. So potassium, it is absorbed by the plant in the form of or in amount more than any other elements other than nitrogen. Potassium aids or it helps in the building of protein and also in the process of photosynthesis, as I told you. Okay. Potassium, it also helps in the building of fruit quality and reduces diseases. Okay, and potassium, it is supplied plants by soil such as organic matters and fertilizers. Okay, so this is the plant sufficient in with the potassium and plant deficient in the potassium. Okay, so what are the symptoms of deficiency of potassium? Crops suffering this deficiency appear scorched around the edges and surface are irregularly chlorotic. See, surface are irregularly chlorotic, that is yellowing of leaf has occurred because of the deficiency of potassium. In legumes, the chlorotic spot form pattern around the leaf edges. See, chlorotic has chlorotic patches has formed around the leaf edges. Cereal grains, they develop weak stalk and their roots may become more prone to infection by root rotting organism. These two factors may result in collapse of the crop by wind or rain. Okay. So this is the potassium deficient leaf. Due to the easy mobility of potassium, deficiency symptoms, they appear first on the older leaf and then on the younger leaf. A mottled chlorosis followed by the development of dark necrotic lesion at the tip and the margin of the leaf is generally found. Okay, and the leaf tips, they curve downward. Okay, as you can see that this is the leaf tip which has moved downward, and margin, they roll inward towards the upper surface. See, this is the margin of the leaf, so it has curled inward. Okay, in cereals, cells at the leaf tip and the margin, they die first, and the necrosis, it spreads precipitally towards the leaf bases. It is seen that potassium deficient cereal grains, they develop weak stalk, very weak, and their roots, they become susceptible to or become more prone to root rotting organism. As a result, the plant easily get lodged by wind or rain. Okay. Another deficiency symptom is that a potassium deficient plant, it exhibits stunted growth with shortened internode. Okay. Now come to the calcium, which is another most important macronutrient, students. It is absorbed from the soil in the form of calcium ion, that is your calcium 2+. Calcium is required by meristematic and differentiating tissues. During cell division, it is used in the synthesis of cell wall, particularly as calcium pactate in the middle of lamella. See, this is the calcium pactate in the middle lamella, gluing cells together. That means it holds all the cell together. Okay. It is also needed during the formation of mitotic spindle. It accumulates in older leaves. It is involved in the normal functioning of cell membrane. It activates certain enzymes and it plays an important role in regulating metabolic activities, students. Okay. So let's see the functions. As I told you that it accumulates in older leaves. Now come to the function. During cell division, it is used in the synthesis of cell wall, particularly as calcium pactate. See, this is calcium pactate. Okay, in the middle lamella. It is also needed during the formation of mitotic spindle, students. For normal functioning of cell membrane, calcium is required. And it activates certain enzyme and it plays an important role in regulating metabolic activities. Okay. So these are the functions of calcium. Now let's see what's the role. See, as I taught you that calcium, it plays an important role in the structure of plant cell wall and it provides for normal transport and retention capacity of other elements and the strength in the plant. The source of calcium are lime, gypsum and superphosphate. Now deficiency symptoms of calcium. As you can see, this is plant deficient in calcium. So a plant found deficient in calcium shows stem collapse, okay, and subsequent termination of growth in the apical meristematic region at stem, leaf or root tips. Chlorotic patches. See, this is the chlorotic patch which is on the margin of the young leaf. Root of a calcium deficient plant may become short, stubby or brown. And distortion or disfiguration of growing tips, shoot tips is characteristic of calcium deficient plant. Cell wall, it may become rigid and brittle in calcium deficient plant. Calcium deficiency results in cell enlargement. It also results in vacuolation and differentiation in the shoot apex of many plants. Now come to the magnesium. Okay. So it is absorbed by the plant as divalent magnesium ion, that is Mg2. Okay. So it is absorbed by the plant as a divalent magnesium ion. Okay. So this is the plant leaf with deficiency of magnesium, and this is the plant leaf with sufficient magnesium. What are the functions, students? It activates enzymes of respiration and photosynthesis, and they are involved in the synthesis of DNA and RNA. Okay. Now, third function of magnesium is that it is a constituent of the ring structure of chlorophyll. As you can see, this is the plant chlorophyll, and magnesium is present in the core of the chlorophyll. Okay. And it helps to maintain the ribosome structure. This is another function of magnesium, students. So magnesium is a part of chlorophyll on all green plants, and it is important for photosynthesis. It also helps in the activation of plant enzymes which are needed for growth. Now, what are the sources of magnesium? First is soil, organic matter, fertilizers and limestone. These are the 4 sources of magnesium in soil. Now, what are the deficiency symptoms of magnesium, students? See, this is a plant deficient in magnesium. So, extensive interveinal chlorosis. See, this is extensive interveinal chlorosis of older leaf is the first symptom, and the deficiency, they become more acute. It eventually reaches the younger leaves also. First, it appears in the older one, and then it reaches to younger leaves. This is because magnesium is a mobile element. Okay. See, when a element is mobile, then deficiency symptom occurs first in older leaves, and then it eventually reaches to the younger leaves. Okay. So this way you can memorize it. Okay. So chlorosis, it is followed by anthocyanin pigmentation and then necrotic spotting. Anatomically, magnesium deficiency, it causes extensive chlorenchyma development and scanty pith formation. Pith, I have already taught you in the chapter anatomy of flowering plants. For that or for the better understanding, you can refer to that presentation. Okay. So anatomically, magnesium deficiency, it causes extensive chlorenchyma development and scanty pith formation. Now comes sulfur, which is another important macronutrient. Okay, so plants, they obtain it as sulfate ion, that is SO4 2-, and sulfur is present in 2 amino acids such as cysteine and methionine. Okay, it is present in 2 amino acid, that is cysteine. See, this is sulfur which is present in the cysteine amino acid. This is sulfur which is present in the another amino acid, that is methionine. Okay, and it is main constituent of several coenzyme, vitamin and ferredoxin. Okay, which vitamins it is found in? Thymine, biotin and coenzyme A. See, this is the plant deficient in sulfur, and this is the plant which has sufficient sulfur. So sulfur, it plays an important role in the protein production. It also enhances activity of enzyme and vitamins. It helps in the formation of chlorophyll, and it improves growth of root and seed production. It provides resistance to cold and in vigorous plant growths. Okay. Sources of sulfur are soil from rainwater, some low quality fertilizers, and gypsum. So these are the deficiency symptoms of sulfur, in which a general chlorosis throughout the entire leaf is seen, including veins of the leaf. See, this midline is known as vein of the leaf. So a general chlorosis is found in the entire leaf, and including veins of the leaf, which appears first in the younger leaf. Rapid leaf fall takes place because of the deficiency of sulfur. Leaf tip and the margin, they get rolled inward, okay, because of the deficiency of sulfur. Terminal bud growth is inhibited, and lateral buds, they develop prematurely. Sulfur deficiency, it results in marked decrease of stroma lamellae and an increase in grana stacking. Okay, so these are the deficiency symptoms of sulfur. So this was all about the macronutrients. In my next section of the presentation, we will discuss about the micronutrients in detail, such as iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, molybdenum, chlorine, and their deficiency symptoms, students. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Edupedia Word videos. Thank you.